What's good, LiveWire fans? All right, this is your boy, LiveWire Sports Media, back with you again. All right, so the Indiana Fever have won 4 straight. They have won 6 out of the last 10 games. And if you look at the Indiana Fever and what they have been able to do for the last few games they have won, especially the last 3, is to have balance. Now, you know, the game that they won where Kelsey Mitchell had 22 and Aliyah Boston had when they had played Atlanta the last time. I believe Caitlin had like 7 points in that game where Aliyah Boston went off for 27 points. But you notice in this game, Atlanta was not trying to let Aliyah Boston get off at all. And that's why I said when teams start to focus on Aliyah Boston, because they're looking at Indiana and what they're trying to do now. They're trying to go inside and out, in which the others has to step up. When you got somebody like Katie Lou hitting shots from the outside, when you got somebody like Lexi Hall being aggressive and hit a little bit of shots, when you get a contributor from Erica Wheel a little bit. Hell, even Christy Wallace showed up tonight. And I'm sure Christy Wallace probably heard everybody was on her head, you know what I'm saying, because she hasn't been played well. She had 7 points tonight. She had 7 points, 2 assists. She was 1 for 2 for 3-point line. She only played 16 minutes. Wheeler played 24 minutes. She only had 4 points. That's the thing right there. Wheeler had 4 points. She had 5 assists, 2 rebounds. But my thing is, the Indiana Fever had a very good first quarter, which they led by 10, 35-25. But it's the second quarter or the third quarter, where the Indiana Fever seemed where they can't continue the same rhythm. There was a lot of you had Tina Charles had 24 points. Alyssa Gray had 19. Now, and what if Ryan Howard had played? You know what I'm saying? That would have been a little bit more pressure. The game probably would have been a little closer in points. Not sure if they would have won. But when Caitlin went out in the beginning of the second quarter, and you could tell that the offense was getting stagnant. They was allowing the Dream to start rallying off points. And as soon as that happened, on the next time out, you saw Caitlin came back in. And this is where I said that they do need another backup point guard that can run the show, distribute the ball just like Caitlin, and be able to find a shot, because that pace has to continue. Being honest, the Fever could have ran away with this game a long time ago. I mean, it could have been really, really bad. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they pushed it up pretty high. I think almost 20, I think. But the lapse in judgment, like Christy Wallace, she be having lapse of judgment on defense. They was getting all these fouls called. I mean, hell, the Dream had 35 attempts at the foul line to the Fever 11. But it was so much balanced scoring with the Fever that allowed them to collectively put this game away, because the Dream didn't have an answer for neither one of them. I mean, as much as I hate to say it, you got to think. Lexi Hall had 5 points in the game. The bench had a total of 19 points. That's not bad, because Katie Lou had 10. If they could get 15 to 19 points for the bench a game, they're going to be hard to beat. They're going to be hard to beat, because Katie Lou came in. She had 3 rebounds, 3 assists in 20 minutes. I would have liked to see a little bit more of her in the second half. But, you know, Lexi Lou Lexi Hall, she came in and contribute. I do love Lexi. A lot of people ain't so high on her, but I love Lexi when she comes in the game and play with Caitlin because she knows what Caitlin likes. So when Caitlin had hit that corner three, the ball went to Lexi and Lexi pitched it back to her, and Caitlin had a set three in the corner, easy, because they find her back. See, when Caitlin, when Wheeler and Mitchell get the ball, and you got an open person right next to you, you're not looking to pass the ball. You're looking for your own shot. And you can see Caitlin on the sideline is like clapping her hand, like, get the ball back so I can set the offense up. Then y'all move around. Then I could find y'all. Christy Size really has to, she really gonna have to talk to Mitchell and say, hey, when you get the ball, if you ain't really got an open lane or try to take. Now, granted for what it was, Mitchell, she had 18 points. She was 7 from 12 for the field goal. I do like her aggressiveness there, but there is still some shots that she misses under the. There was a couple of shots. She could have had 20. She probably could have been the leading scorer in the game. She could have had like 24 points. She drives to the lane and just tosses it up. Finger roll that thing up in the basket. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you got Aliyah Boston sealing out and the defender can't get to you. Don't rush your shot. You know, same thing with Wheeler. Wheeler, could get to the basket, but her shot selection, she's not a good shooter at all. But again, for the third straight game, they all ate. You know what I'm saying? There was 5 players in double figures tonight. You had Clark with 16. Smith led the team with scoring with 21. Mitchell with 18. Boston with 10 and 10, a double-double. Smith would have had a double-double. But I think one of the rebounds when her and Kayla was battling, that rebound was supposed to go to her. And you had Katie Lou, 20 minutes, 10 points. I mean, she was a +6. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Not bad at all. And the thing about it is that's efficient. That's being efficient in the game, you know. And on top of that, you got to think, Caitlin, she only had 4 rebounds, but you had your bigs under there. And I like how Nalaja Smith was able to step in for Boston, who was in foul trouble most of the night. You know what I'm saying? She never really got her groove because Tina Charles was taking it to her. You know what I'm saying? Her and Tina Charles were battling all night. But that's what it takes. Smith has to step up. Now, I don't know what the deal with Timmy Fan Bailey and why she hasn't really been back, because they say they would evaluate her within 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks. She's out there practicing. She's not in a boot and everything like that, trying to get her comfortable. I figure at some point in time, I don't want her to come back when you got to play the hard teams in the next 5 games after Sunday. Games like this, she should have been able to come back and got a rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Where when you go into the hard games, then it's easier for you to move around. I don't know if she's going to play in the Chicago game. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be another thing, because if she plays in the Chicago game, then you're going to have to split her time and Smith time up a little bit. Or you probably going to have to cut some of Chris Wallace minutes down. So Finn Bentley is going to have to play a part, because she started when Smith was, with being bad, but now Smith playing well. Bentley could come off the bench. You don't have to play as much, but you still need that energy person on that floor, especially when Smith goes out. You could still bring Boston Bentley, or you could bring Katie Lou Bentley, Clark, whatever, whoever you got in there, because you need that extra person that could take pressure off Boston in there, especially when Smith gets tired. Katie Lou is good, but you might have to slice some minutes there. I don't know how you're gonna figure it out. But anyway, Tonight was another sold out crowd, which this game was moved. They moved the game a couple of days ago from their regular arena that they have in Atlanta to the State Farm that holds over 17,000, which there was another record setting of 17,575. And I will bring tomorrow for y'all the viewership numbers and everything that Caitlin has set, especially the game they had on Wednesday that set the NBA TV record. But nevertheless, I still see some things from the Fever that need to be corrected. They got to be able to stop turning the ball over so much. I wish they learned the fundamentals of the game, how to tighten things up a little bit from the men's game's perspective. But Caitlin, she played 35 minutes. She had the most minutes out of everybody. She had 16.4 rebounds, 7 assists. She was 6 for 12 from the field, 4 from 8 from three-point line. She was cooking. She had 1 block again. She had 7 turnovers, but which I seen her turnovers because she only had 3 in the first half. She could have walked away with 3 turnovers, but her teammates have to finish the basket. They got to finish. She had 4 fouls. She was plus 13, and she also became the second player to Sue Bird that has reached 100 assists. And like I said, if she could have broke that record in less time instead of 15 games, she could have actually had that 100 assists early. If our teammates had from the beginning had finished, Caitlin would have been averaging 10 assists a game. She could easily average 10 assists a game, but her teammates don't know how to finish under the basket. And it's like you throw the ball up. You can't throw the ball up. You gotta find a touch to make sure the ball goes in and everything like that. But I do like the way they have been playing. I'm going to show y'all two little highlights from the game, especially when Caitlin shot the 3 and the sequence when she Wheeler passed to her and she passed the ball to Smith for an easy 2. But again, here's the record crowd of 17,000 for tonight. Awesome. Hold up. And that's with that one. But you see it. You see how the crowd moved. In pregame, they had asked Caitlin about the rivalry, and she stated that the media, she finally taken it to the media because Chrissy Sides even had she calling y'all out, and she said that, y'all making it a rivalry out of the Sky and them, which some people say, it's a rivalry between them. But regardless if it's a rivalry or not, it don't really matter. But she said that she wished they could have moved the game to the United Center, where it would be a record-breaking crowd. It would have been a record-breaking crowd, and the media. I think the viewership, because the game is at 4:00 Sunday, so I think that viewership could push over 3 million. For that, that could be something very good to watch. But nonetheless, there's a lot of good to take away from what the Fever is doing, because I don't want to minimize that. They are starting to play together. They are starting to rely on each other, and they're starting to trust each other a little bit more. And that's something that is really needed. Now, is Coach Side still making some mental mistakes? Yes, she is. Especially when it comes down sitting Caitlin for a certain minute in the second quarter or the third quarter or going into the fourth quarter. You're going to have to figure out who's going to run the show, who you could get to move the ball. I think Grace Berger was doing a pretty good job orchestrating the offense, when Christy Wallace was struggling. I want to see Celeste Taylor, but I don't really know what's the deal, why she's not really trying to play some of them. And I think she want to stick to her trusted rotations and stuff like that. But after Sunday's game, it's going to get hard. Because if they pull out a win Sunday for their 8th win, and if you think about it, they was 1-8 when they started. They lost the last 2. They one was 2-10. They had roll off 5 wins. So they 7-10 right now. And I think if once Atlanta drop probably the next 2 games and the Fever win, I think the Fever can move up to 7th spot. It's going to be interesting because you're going to have to look at Atlanta, the Fever, and the Sky. Their schedule is going to play a difference over what the seeding will be. I think the Fever still will make the playoffs. I think they will be definitely a 7th seed. I think they'll move up in the 7th seed. That'll give them a destiny with New York, in the first round. That will be pretty good. I don't want them to match up with Connecticut. Let the Chicago be matched up with them, or Atlanta, whoever. But nevertheless, the game was exciting. Like I said, Caitlin is continually to set records. If it ain't for attendance, viewership, or her own rookie records, she's breaking records. I mean, and now that she's second in the fan voting for All-Star voting right now, which she'll probably take that over. But I'll do a separate video for all of that stuff, All-Star attendance and all of that. That'll be a separate video. I'll dig deeper into that. But I like the win tonight. They got to fly out tonight to Chicago, get ready for Sunday's game, practice, and do all the stuff that they need to do and everything, and get ready for that game. And hopefully they can win that game and move up, have the 8th win of the season. Then they'd be 8-10, 2 games away from 500. But nevertheless, it's going to be tough because they got to go on the West Coast now. Just watched the LA Aces destroy the Connecticut Sun. So the Aces looking like they were struggling, but they seem like they don't find their groove again. So let me go a couple of little things, tidbits before I head out of here. Like I said, you look at the stat line with Smith, 32 minutes, Mitchell 31, Boston 25, because she got in foul trouble. Mitchell was a +11, Boston was a +9, Clark was a +13, and Samuelson, she was a +6. So that's special. You know what I'm saying? Clark, she shot 50% from the field and 50% for 3-point line. That's good. That's a good stat line right there. Very good stat line. Something you could really be proud of. You know what I'm saying? And notice that teams are not blitzing Caitlin as much now, because now the others have stepped up. Teams are not blitzing her as much. If you think about it, she was blitzed 24% of the pick plays in the first 9 games, then went to 10% in the next 4 and 7% in the last 3 entering into next game. So that goes to show you that the team has gotten better and took a pressure off her, and now they can't blitz her as much. You know what I'm saying? Because now they got to focus on everybody else scoring, and now that allows Caitlin to do her thing that she needs to do. Whether she the leading scoring or she a balanced scorer, I don't care if she the leading scorer on the team. As long as she balances out, that's all, and everybody is able to contribute, that's team success. she don't have to be the top scorer of the team just for them to win, just to just be more efficient. That's why she's who she is. She don't have to carry. See, in college, she was able to carry the burden. Now she's in the pro. She don't really have to carry that burden. She just play her role and pick and choose when she get her points, because you know she can explode for points quickly. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and then with her and Boston connection, which is getting better and better each game, they the data is there. But beginning, Boston looks off Caitlin's passes have greatly improved in the last 2 games and resulted in all wins. Boston averaged a shot distance of Clark passes in those games 3.9 feet. Over the first 13 games, it was 8.2 feet. So she's really doing a good job. And plus, Boston's shooting percentage off Clark passes over the last 3 games was 67%. It was 39% when on the first 13 games when Clark was passing to her. So that goes to show you the growth of these young ladies and the trust that they starting to have for each other. So it's really great to see. It is really, really great to see. So with all of that being said and done, again, Clark is her career stat. She's the 3rd fastest in WNBA history to reach 100 assists since Sue Bird did it. So again, you got to take your hats off to her, man. You got to take your hats off to her. You got to be able to understand how this team, and it's great to see Chrissy Sides was able to sit in the post-game conference with Naleza Smith and Caitlin Clark, and they enjoying themselves and everything. And now, you have to have Christy going off the rails and talking this and that. Keep her less talking, let the players talk. So why she listen? So it was good to see. But again, great win for the Indiana Fever. They go to Chicago on Sunday at 4:00. Hopefully they can pick up another win and add more misery to the Chicago Sky. Until then, enjoy your Saturday night, and I look for you on Sunday. God bless. Continue to like, comment, subscribe to all Indiana Fever. I do have a blog. I post it on my site, and then when I do my video tomorrow, when I do my blog for tomorrow, and my other video, I will put the link to the blog in that description. So when y'all click on the video, y'all can read it and everything else. But until then, have a good night. God bless.